What is up? Welcome to another episode of the channel. And yeah, UFC 288. Felt like I was a little invested in this fight. Um, and I wanted to see how Henry Cejudo was going to come back after a 3-year layoff. And you know what? For someone coming back 3 years, he did all right. He did good. He's a very exceptional athlete. To have a split decision fight. He still didn't come off on the right end of that decision, but he was probably definitely the toughest challenge for Aljamain besides the first Piotr Jan fight. But having said that, a lot of people still don't want to give Aljamain Sterling credit. He still really is one of the most unlikable champions to a lot of people. And I got to say why. You know, I understand. I was at that bar years ago. I saw that act. I thought that that fight should have been a no contest and they needed to run it back. I felt like Jan should have retained the title, but that knee could have super easily been avoided. And I think Jan should have taken his back and choked him out if he really wanted to finish that. That would have been a bigger statement, to be honest. But that knee was just a bad decision. And sometimes fighters don't think very clearly. I know I'm going to get grilled for saying that. But when you're in that octagon with all that adrenaline fighting another human being who's trained to kill, sometimes it's easy from an outside perspective to say, should have done this, should have done that. But like I'm saying, people could fuck up in that environment, especially in a high stress environment. Um, you know, but Sterling, I feel, has really put a name together, though. Not only has he won the rematch with Jan in a very, very close fight, uh, he steamrolled through Dillashaw, and then Cejudo. It was a close fight. I felt like Cejudo's wrestling was so good because you could tell that every time there was a mid in the octagon shot, he stuffed it. But against the fence, he got like I think two or maybe two. I'm gonna call it two takedowns. Henry doesn't get taken down in the UFC like ever. He's that good of a wrestler, and Aljo took him down twice. That's that says something about Aljo. I know a lot of people don't like to give this guy credit anymore because of the way he won the title, but you have to give credit where credit's due. Just like you got to give Henry credit where credit's due. A lot of people are saying that a lot of people are hating on him also online. They're saying things like, "Oh, he doesn't really have much of a legacy. Why is he even coming back? No one cares about him and stuff." It's like, dude, he beat Demetrius Johnson, steamrolled through Dillashaw, beat Marlon Moraes in his prime, beat Dominic Cruz. So Cejudo is definitely a gamer too. He has definitely got a resume. He definitely had an amazing run in the UFC, and a lot of people don't like to give him very much credit. But once you understand what it takes to be in the UFC and to make it to the top level, you start having more respect for that. You don't want to talk as badly as these people as you think, because if you got in a ring with either Henry or Aljamain, it would probably be a good night for you to the average hater online. But where I'm seeing two fighters get pissed on, I really want to give credence to two fighters. Henry for coming back after 3 years and being in a stylistically really intriguing matchup for him. Because a lot of people are saying, well, John Jones took out Cyril Gahn. Gahn had no wrestling. That fight was never in question. If Jones had really good wrestling, he could take Gahn down and finish the job as soon as he wanted to. It's MMA. It's not striking. If you wouldn't want to take the guy down in the first round and submit him, you could do that. If you play UFC online and competitive, you realize that people do whatever it takes to win. But it's in the rules; it could happen. Um, but it was a very stylistically intriguing matchup for Henry because he's going up like naturally a couple weights. And Aljo has some really good wrestling and grappling also that a lot of people don't want to acknowledge because they just don't like the way he won that title. But I think he's more than absolved himself of that sin, in my opinion. Uh, you got to put respect on Aljo's name. Keep on hating on Aljo like this, and you're only going to feel the fire. And I just kind of feel like O'Malley would be an easier matchup for Sterling because Sterling is dangerous on the feet, but once he takes Sean down, and you can take Sean down, it's going to be really hard for him. It's going to be really hard for O'Malley. You could take him down in the first round and backpack him and do his signature thing. Sterling is a force in this division, and we'll see where this goes in the future. But personally, I think that Sterling has more than absolved himself of the sins of how he won that title. Good for Henry for coming back against, like I said, something that was stylistically intriguing. And good for Aljo for proving everybody wrong again. I really hope that your fan base kind of grows a little bit. People kind of get over the way you won that title because you have more than redeemed yourself, in my opinion. This is just another episode. See you next time.